Guess what, everybody? It is Sunday night. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You know what time that is? It's time to get a little unleashed. Do you know where your cryptids are? Tonight, the king is not joining us. The king has renewed his wedding vows of 25 years. He has decided to go on a weekend honeymoon. So, congratulations to him. But tonight, I would like to personally introduce a good close personal friend, Star. She is my tattoo artist. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get going.
Oh, thank you so much. My name is Dana Lathrop. I go by Star. I have for the last 25 years. I own Realizing Art, which is the tattoo and piercing studio in downtown St. Helens. And I just recently launched a radio show on Co-High, which is the Witching Hour, which runs from 1 to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday on Co-High. You can listen to it on tunein.com, where we talk about all kinds of crazy, cool, weird, mystical, magical, all the things. So I'm super excited to be here with you, Darren. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for popping in. Now, as we've been posting a lot, we normally do like these wonderful, weird little assets of states. We'll cover a state, we'll go into it, we'll cover ghosts, paranormal. Currently, we are in, and James is not here to yell at me otherwise. We are in Colorado, Rocky Mountain High.
Awesome.
Yes, that's right. John Denver songs for the win. So last week we did the Stanley Hotel. This week we are doing the Denver Airport. So the Denver Airport is one of those places that has really got a lot of conspiracy behind it. There's not so much a ghost story here. There's no cryptids. There's no Bigfoot, the sheep squatch, UFOs. But there is possible the home of the Illuminati. So now, Star was telling me beforehand that you have no real knowledge on this place.
No, I've never been to the Denver airport. I've never heard anything about it, so I'm super excited to learn about it. And Darren, you showed me just a couple of images already that have super piqued my interest. I have so many questions, so I can't wait to get in and check this out.
Well, I will attempt to answer everything as we go along. I do have an article here about the Denver airport that I'm going to read. It's from the gaijinghost.com. It's from September 26, 2023. And it kind of goes into a little bit of history and mystery of said airport. So, as the article says, for travelers, the old movie title, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, might better be reframed as a bucket list of things to do in Colorado while you're alive. Two possibilities are visit Rocky Mountain National Park and stay at the nearby Stanley Hotel. The latter, located in Estes Park, is the hotel that inspired Stephen King's best-selling horror novel, The Shining. It later served as the filming location for the TV miniseries adaptation of this book. What's weird is that a guy named Stanley Kubrick directed the original film adaptation of the same book inspired by a Stanley Hotel, and the hotel is a ballroom called the McGregor Room, and Ewan McGregor later starred in Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. Coincidence or conspiracy? Now, if you answer conspiracy without missing a breath, then congratulations, you're immediately qualified to investigate the Denver International Airport. Since before it even opened in 1995, the airport has attracted conspiracy theories, which finally gained enough momentum this year that the New York Times reported on them. It was check notes in an article published on the 4-year anniversary of the day this writer passed through the airport. Clearly another conspiracy. Or not. Part of what fuels theories about DIA is the airport's network of underground tunnels used for baggage handling, not to mention its far flung location in the plains outside Denver proper. By its own admission, the airport has chosen to lean into the theories as a tongue in cheek marketing gag, per a 2019 press release. It and Roswell International Air Center jokingly announced themselves as supernatural sister airports with plans for extraterrestrial combat. Ugh. If you got a long layover in DIA, you might want to see what the hubbub is about, tracking down some of these unique public art that's spurred on by the theories. So, I'm going to bring up a picture of Lucifer.
Lucifer.
It's actually the real name is just called a Mustang, or it's just Mustang. As your plane lands at Denver International Airport, pay special attention to the Earth's curvature outside your window. From the sky, you should be able to confirm with your own eyes that the Earth is not, in fact, flat. In 2023, however, claims began making the rounds on TikTok that a new piece of public art featuring a global map on raised tiles in the airport somehow vindicated the flat Earth conspiracy theory. Basically what it is, it's a map of the Earth with these giant claw things that seem to undulate during the day. And that's called the dual meridian. But we don't really care about that one inside because that doesn't have a lot of conspiracy hubbub around it. Outside the airport, the 32-foot tall Mustang, a cobalt blue horse with glowing red eyes, has earned the nickname Lucifer. The horse was sculpted by artist Louis Jamez, who admittedly did suffer some irrevocable bad luck when he was completing it in his home, and a piece of it came loose and fell on him.
Oh my god.
This accident was fatal, unfortunately. So
What?
Lucifer, the evil-looking horse with the bright red eyes, has killed before.
Oh my gosh.
Yet, despite Mustang's sinister resemblance to a horse of the apocalypse, reports that he will shoot you with his laser beam eyes appear to be greatly exaggerated. We could find no evidence of their veracity other than an unnamed man who told New York Times that he used to spook his kids with such stories. The LED eyes were really meant to be a tribute to Jamez's father and his neon sign shop. That's the reason they're red, though they did once spook Jamez himself when he was home alone at night and his real horse, Blackjack, broke into the house. Susan Jimenez, his widow, told Colorado Public Radio, "You're afraid of something, but then it's okay because you realize it is familiar." I don't know. But the eyes do have that evil intent whatsoever. So I'll throw up another picture of Lucifer in the daylight. So this thing just looks evil. This is not a good looking horse.
It's not at all. I'm sitting here, so I had to Google it. And I have to tell you, the first thing that comes up when I Googled it was image of Lucifer's balls. So apparently there's a huge focus on that particular aspect of this thing, which mind you are massive and horrific on their own right. But it's covered in dark veins. The whole horse was. I thought, oh, maybe it's like a play on the Broncos, right? It's Denver, right? So
right.
A blue horse. Okay, maybe it's something related to that. I don't know much about sports, but whatever. But this thing from every angle is horrifying. Seriously, veiny, gross. I mean, the sculpture on it is fantastic, but for being an airport, I'm really surprised on the imagery, man. Like,
well, I know like PDX has horses outside of its main terminal there as you're driving away. But our horses are nothing like that. They're just kind of like a very minimalist looking horse. just horse
Yeah.
shaped. Not a big bald blue devil that's going to kill you with its eyes.
Yeah. The glowing eyes is intimidating in its own right, but you know, um, every bit of this horse is kind of demonic. I get why they call it Lucifer. Face is pulled back. It's not quite snarling, but it's in kind of that intimidating pose. But you look through, there's huge, dark, exaggerated veins coming through different parts of its entire body, and I just can't get over that.
Yeah, now like the image I got up on the screen right now on the far end side, the Denver airport really is getting into the conspiracy behind all this. That they
Yeah.
put these posters up of, um, you know, they're they're actually joking around about being a Illuminati base.
Okay. Yeah, because it says it was that saying, are they creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world?
That
Is that is that what that says?
are we creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world? That is exactly what it says.
Oh my goodness gracious.
With Lucifer with red lasers coming out of his eyes. It kind of makes you wonder that, I mean, it's like, okay, so there's Lucifer. Um, I don't know. Let's look at that in the nighttime shot. If you were coming in, you flew into Denver, you went to Estes Park, you stayed a weekend at the Stanley, then you were just having to fly home the next evening, and you saw that. What's on your screen, ladies and gentlemen? As you're driving in, you're tired. You probably don't want to be hungover or drunk to see this giant, veiny blue horse of death with laser beam eyes.
I want to know when he
Yeah,
pitched this. That did they? Who signed off on the on the installation, and did they? Oh my gosh! And you said that the guy died. The creator of it.
the guy died in his workshop because part of the horse fell off and killed him.
Oh my goodness!
So
That's
this,
like your
this
sign right there.
well, I mean, if you think about it, if you're making a demonic sculpture, you kind of want a blood sacrifice to, sanctify it. And there's your blood sacrifice. Damn horse got his own blood. All right, now we're going to get into the gargoyles and the Mason symbols. All right, so the article continues on. In DIA, astronaut statues and suspended planes create a visual impression of the history of flight. However, there also used to be a hammy animatronic gargoyle named Greg, who we see on the screen, who would say things like, "Welcome to Illuminati headquarters." That was Greg's glib allusion to a 1994 dedication capstone with Masonic symbols by the airport's south entrance. There's a time capsule sealed under it to be opened in 2094. As evidenced by the inscription, local Masons do appear to have formed a New World Airport Commission, as opposed to a New World Order, to install the capstone. You have to wonder if they weren't already in on the joke. As for the gargoyle, he and his riffs on passing people were something you see in an interactive comedy show at Disney World. You'd have to be operating without a sense of humor to take anything he said seriously. While the original Greg is gone, some thought he was evil, and this is why we can't have nice things. You can still see two gargoyles perched near DIA's baggage claim area even today. So, originally, the gargoyle would actually talk. Motion activated and say very interesting things. Here's another image of that capstone being dedicated March 19th, 1994. And it does have that New World. I'll go back to this one for a second. You can kind of see down here on the bottom underneath the March 19th, 1994 New World Airport Commission. Now, the interesting thing about that one is I've been in the airlines for 32 years and I have never heard of the New World Airport Commission. That's never anything that I've actually heard about.
Now, what about the aeronautics or the architects that are listed there?
Those. Let me pull up a better image on mine. So what it says for the people at home: Denver International Airport, Wellington E. Webb Mayor, Governor Roy R. Romer, Secretary of Transportation Federico Pena. The time capsule beneath the stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094. On to the left-hand side of it, the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge F and AM of Colorado and jurisdiction, Claude W. Gray Sr., Grand Master. And then on the right-hand side, the most worshipful Grand Lodge and AF and AM of Colorado, Benjamin H. Bell Jr., Grand Master. And then March 19, 1994, New World Airport Commission, contributors Martin Marietta Aeronautics, Fentress Bradburn Architects, and Zimmerman Metals. I have no clue about who any of those people are.
Yeah.
So you've got all that weird, funky capstone, gargoyles, Lucifer.
I still can't believe, like, I mean, we're talking about an airport. We're talking about an international airport. This is a big time, a big airport. There's a lot of people going in and out. This is not a theme park. It's not a resort. It's not a destination people are going to for fun stuff. This is a legit functioning airport.
It is a functioning airport. It's huge. There's just part of it in a picture. I couldn't find a picture where you could see all the details, but it is a large airport.
Oh, man.
And I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around how big this place really is.
And the choices, like, I just don't understand. You know, we're watching the remodel of Portland. I've been in and out a few times recently. You know, they're trying to they're really embodying what the Pacific Northwest is about and what the Portland area is about. You know, they have the introduction of all the trees, and there's, you know, some of the signage for the native peoples, and, you know, everything going into it. So it's really a statement of the people and of the area. Well, is this a statement of the people in the area of Denver, Colorado? Because I'm like, I knew the place was kind of weird. I have some friends, you know, going to the Stanley has been on my bucket list, and I have some friends who go there periodically because they're real into that stuff, you know. I'm surprised I have not heard about this airport yet, considering they have got to be flying into it. This is some freaky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, now I've heard from the some of the people that the outside exterior is supposed to look like a teepee village for the Plains Indians, but I mean, then you've got everything inside, and we haven't even got to the really crazy things.
Oh man, I can't wait! I'm excited. It's already strange.
Oh, it's only going to get even weirder. All right, so the article continue. Leo Taguma's mural, Children of the World Dream of Peace. part of it. That's part of the mural. The thing's huge. I can only find so many pictures.
Oh my gosh. What is
It's
it called?
it is Children of the World Dream of Peace. It's currently in storage as the airport's Great Hall undergoes restoration. Yet it too inspired end of the world theories based on the image of a gas mask soldier. Let's see if I can bring that up. Yep, there's our gas mask soldier.
Gosh.
Gas mask soldier, among other things. That's only the short side of the mural, though, and if you step to the left when the mural eventually returns, you'll see that the long side of it shows children and doves triumphing over war, violence, and hate under a rainbow. Speaking of rainbows, it's worth mentioning that, unlike Lucifer, Denver's International Church of Cannabis employs real lasers in its amazing Technicolor Dream Show. The Denver area also holds other interesting landmarks like Union Station, Historic Brown Palace, the Red Rocks Amphitheater. Yeah, they got away from the airport for a second. Ultimately, by turning itself into a living work of public art, the Denver International Airport invites interpretation and leaves itself open to any number of off-the-wall theories. Yet the deeper down the rabbit hole you go with conspiracy theories related to the DIA, the more they start to sound like dorm room ideas. The kind that might originate from spending too much time online after partaking of the sacrament of wacky tobacco. It's all good fun as long as your investigation, Denver art, and the accompanying urban folklore stays on the rainbow side. That's the end of that article.
So this is one side of the mural, and here you have this gas mask military. You know, that's pretty spooky imagery, which is pretty like emotionally invoking, like, you know, the crumbling buildings, the weapons of war, the gas masks, is, you know, kind of like.
Yeah, then it's like four different parts of the mural. So you've got dead children, you've got things on fire, you've got animals going extinct. It's just this entire montage of death, destruction, rebirth, coming back underneath a common flag. It's kind of a crazy little place.
I mean, I love art. I love expression. I love freedom and that kind of stuff. But again, this is not a museum. This is an airport.
Mm-hmm.
And we have images of dead children.
Yeah.
Laying there in what is like an open casket, flowers, you know, obviously dead people. They're, you know, that's ribs on the side, dead animals. I was looking at this other one that they're carrying mass amounts of swords and weapons, you know, multiple references to these you know, warriors or military, I'm assuming so, but they have you know, all these weapons, the guns, the weapons of war. And I was looking at the top of the one where it's all the children above. They have the swords wrapped in flags. It looks like they're kind of like destroying. You know, the one guy's holding a sword. The other kid. I mean, most of these are children in these images, which is also for me. I mean, that's kind of striking. Not in a good way. And the other kid's hammering down and destroying the sword. But the military person, this person who's the war person, has the eagle, the eagle on the top of his helmet. With all of this symbolism, the gravity of the symbolism, I don't think they left anything to chance. I'd be really curious as to what their intentions are with, you know, who are they referencing with this symbolism?
Yeah, that is the whole point of Denver International is you've got the murals, you got the capstone for a group that doesn't exist, Lucifer outside. Um, so yeah, here's that one that you're talking about, the rainbow, and
Yeah.
they've got all the swords and the big triumphant that we're done with everything and war is
So
over.
so the US Army has an eagle on the top of their officer caps.
Right.
And so, is this are again, I don't think they're leaving anything up to chance with their choice of imagery and whatnot. Are they referencing here that are they killing US Army military? Is that what they're destroying? Cuz that's something. Again, this is a US airport. And here we have flags of nations all around the world. That's great. I love unity coming together, but we have these children, and they're literally killing, destroying this, what is representing, in my opinion, US military.
Yeah. And of course, let's not forget this one. This seems to be your favorite part of the mural just because it's kind of disturbing. Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
The last 30 minutes, we'll get into a lot of bigger conspiracies.
I just can't get over it.
Normally I wouldn't do a full conspiracy show. It would be, we'd break it up to like history and then personal experiences, and then the last bit is conspiracy. But this one's kind of all the tinfoil hat type of wearing thing.
100%. Now, what is behind there in the back? The flames are on one side, the girl with the red outfit's on the other side, but there's a clear image directly behind her. What is that? Can you tell?
I will blow it up on my end.
It's just phenomenal.
So what she has, the girl in red, she's got a dead girl down on the bottom of that yellow line. Just to the left of that is a dead girl in a coffin.
Yeah.
There's a dead turtle. There's a dead jaguar over top where the kids are kind of looking down on that little mural. She's holding a glass case with I think it's a puffin in it. She has on that back, it looks kind of like where she's wearing a cape, is a whale. There's a city in the very, very back. A lot of fires. A lot of above the kids, there's a bird in a cage. There's a buffalo head off to the far side. There's on the right-hand side, there's a kid comforting a squirrel. The little girl in the caskets.
And the girl in this casket, so she has, it's interesting. I have a blown up picture of her on my phone I'm looking at right now. She has in her hand what appears to be a Bible. It's a book with a cross, some flowers, and she also has a piece of material with a stitched on star. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be a 6-pointed star that she's holding in her hands. And she's very obviously dead. And then she's laying on a quilt, which also has the pointed stars. And if you zoom up real close to the boy in the yellow, the bird he's holding has a tag on it, and it's labeled as a passenger pigeon with an extinct date, right, representing when it went extinct.
Right.
I'm trying to get some up close photos of what's what's behind the other ones. The other one is, oh, the penguin is labeled as a great auk, which went extinct in 1844. What is that? The woman that's deceased there in the left underneath the turtle's wrapped in netting. It's hard to see in this picture, but the turtle's wrapped in netting, right? Like a commentary to our sea life being destroyed. And she has what appears to be like African drums that she's holding there. And you can't really see it in this one. It's just so dark, but it's that coffin there on the left. She's holding drums. But I'm trying to see if I can get a real good up close of what's behind that girl in the red, because I'm super curious. The best I can see is it just looks like a city, you know, but they're burning all the forests. They're destroying all the forests, killing all these animals. The bird that's in the box flying up with a green tail, it's a quetzal with extinct and a question mark. So maybe it's not extinct quite yet. And then you have this girl right here. It looks like she's holding a map, right? But the map itself also has very interesting images, because on one side it's a face that is blowing out of its mouth and creating a symbol, and the other side is another face blowing out of its mouth and creating another symbol. One looks somewhat like a flower, the other one maybe like a sunburst. But and of course they're all bleeding, they're crying, they're shocked and scared. These are kids, man. This is a mural on an airport. I don't get this.
It like you said earlier, Portland has a lot of local art, local stuff that signifies Oregon and the region. Denver has a horror show.
Just blows my mind.
So, well, I think Denver itself, I mean, you're going to be landing. I mean, you're already at a higher altitude.
Right.
Because it's the Mile High city. So you're already at a mile high. And if you come from sea level like we do, you're going to not be feeling the absolute greatest until you acclimate. Walking through the airport, and you're seeing all this weird stuff going on, you're going to wonder if you're just having somebody didn't take a couple hits of acid and put in your drink or something.
Yeah, I want to know, like, what did they put in my drink on the airplane? Like this. It's a little more than I bargained for there.
You get off, you run into a talking gargoyle. Yeah, you walk past all these murals, you go past a talking gargoyle. Then you look at Lucifer on the way out.
I just can't get over that guy. I mean,
we're all going to be scared of Lucifer.
Stuff. I'm going to have nightmares about that guy.
Well, you can always do like King James did. We did a show on sheep squatch, and he was so disturbed by the picture, he blew it up as his background for his office.
I love it. Well, it's motivating for me. I'm working on this tattoo design right now. It's a client I've been working with for a long time, and it's a full leg sleeve. It's, you know, top to bottom, hip to ankle leg of the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse. And so I have each, you know, each character, you know, the war, famine, pestilence, death, and a representation of them and their horse each too. And this is just like fueling my creative imagery for, you know, I'm finally reaching the stage of just coloring this stuff out, you know. And the horse I have for war is very much in that position of reared up, you know, hooves in front, snarly face stuff, man. This is very apocalyptic.
You might have to give him Lucifer. He's gonna wonder what is going on, and you're gonna be like, "It's Lucifer."
Just it's Lucifer. Go to Denver.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get to Denver for the longest time. Um, Eons ago, before 9/11, it was easier to fly. Me and a bunch of my coworkers would fly to Vegas for a day. Just get off for work in the morning, hop the plane, go to Vegas, spend a day in Vegas. I flew to Sacramento one time just to go have lunch
Nice.
because I had taken a buddy of mine down to Denver to meet his future bride, and we spent a weekend down there. And I remember the airport had a really good little burgers joint inside. So got off of work one day. I was like, all right, well, I want to go somewhere for lunch. So I flew to Sacramento to have a burger. Everyone's like, well, did you do anything in Sacramento? No. I flew in, got off the plane, went, got a burger, sat there, waited for the next flight, and came home.
Nice.
Denver would
Yeah.
probably be one of those places where I just fly in just for the day and just be like, spend all day going, all right, what other conspiracies can I find? It's probably a good thing that Gargoyle is no longer up there, because I'd probably get into an argument.
Would you just stand there and argue with the gargoyle for a while?
Well, it's like Disneyland has like all these animatronics and stuff, and there's always like somebody nearby manning a microphone talking to you. So I would want to put Greg to the test. Is it just an animatronic that's motion activated, random things, or is there somebody in there that will be like, talking back to you all day long? But apparently he was too spooky.
Well, he reminds me of what is it called? There's another another Stephen King story, which is the Langoliers. Have you ever? Are you familiar with that one? And so just seeing this little gargoyle climbing out of a suitcase, I mean, if I was showing up to this airport having recently watched or read, the Langoliers, and here I have this freaky gargoyle climbing out of this piece of luggage, I'm gonna wonder, like, did I step out of reality? Am I still? Did I arrive where I'm supposed to?
Well, Denver Airport would just be freaky altogether.
Yeah.
Just the weird little things.
Well, anywhere that has Masonic stuff that's in your face, like super in your face, I'm always curious about. I don't think I know enough about the Masons. They just always seem to be have their fingers in things that just, it brings way too many questions to my mind. I don't get enough answers.
Yeah. Well, with our last 20 minutes, we can talk. I mean, even though everything's already been a conspiracy, now we can get into the conspiracy of the conspiracy.
Let's go.
All right. So when they built this, it went over budget by a couple $1 million.
Okay.
The dirt they pulled out of the area was like 4 times the amount of dirt that you should be pulling for a normal airport. And this thing is huge. And apparently it has tunnels underneath it, which Portland International does have a lot of baggage tunnels underneath the airport itself. I've been in them.
Yeah.
But from what I hear about Denver is that these tunnels go on and on for miles. That there are different levels. It's like a parking garage underneath. One of the guys that I've known that has worked at Denver said, yeah, there are, as far as he knows, there are 5 levels underground. And he says we're only allowed 1, 2, and 3 to unload bags. So you load bags on 1, you unload bags on 2, and 3 is like an overflow. And
Yeah.
I asked him, well, what's on 4 and what's on 5? And he goes, I don't know. We're not allowed down there. And it's not just one airline has their own bag well. All the bag wells come to 1, 2, and 3. So every airline that's coming through with their bag carts is going into levels 1, 2, and 3. So what is on level 4 and 5? Now, the big conspiracy is the reason Denver International was built was home of the Illuminati. That all these extra tunnels and underground fortresses are supposed to be, and I'm probably going to get Men in Black knocking on my door. I feel like we should have got tinfoil hats for this part.
Perfect.
So the theory is, the conspiracy theory
Yeah.
is that if the world goes completely and totally tits up, all the powerful elite will run to Denver International. They'll fly in. They'll be shuttled way down into the darkest, deepest tunnels and bunkers that they have. And that this is going to be the home of the power elite. They apparently have enough food. I mean, people say that, yeah, there's a lot of delivery trucks coming in and out that you really wouldn't see if you're just stocking, you know, how was it put? There are 5 times as many delivery trucks coming in than the restaurants that we have inside.
Okay.
So, like, one of the guys I know said that they had 4 Starbucks trucks show up every week. And they have 3 Starbucks stores. So, and he's like, yeah, these are giant trucks that you would see like going to like Fred Meyer, Walmart, you know, the great big delivery trucks. He's like, it's Starbucks. Why do we need that much Starbucks in a week to have, you know, 4 trucks for 3 stores?
Yeah.
Like, one a week, 1 truck a week should load everything for a month. But maybe
So
they're go ahead.
Oh, no, like, why on earth would they, what else would they be bringing in? You know, like, do you think that they're fronting, that they're, you know, using it as an excuse to load stuff in and ship it out through Denver? You know, are they using it as a, kind of like a front, you know, like, international airport is the perfect place to get things moved far and wide, and there's a lot of storage on those airplanes that aren't being used by passengers, and I'm just trying to get real weird with it. I don't know, you know.
Well, the big conspiracy is that since these trucks are using the underground tunnels, they're actually packing that downstairs for the elites with food, water, supplies, clothing, so that they can continue to pack up everything, get everything ready to go. And with the world being as crazy it is, we've got drones, we've got UFOs in the ocean, we've got... Oh, okay, I won't touch the LA fires, but we got fires everywhere breaking out. We're not going to say if it's a conspiracy theory or not. But the world's basically kind of going up, and we don't really know what's going on. So is the powerful elite using this as their own personal base?
Well, especially if the Illuminati, you know, if the Masons have their symbolism all over the place, you know, I feel like if I'm gonna be conspiracy-ish at all, what seems to be a theme is that they hide their truths in the absolute face of everybody else. It's like they're so overt with it, right? That it's so overt that it's covert, right? Like it's so in your face, you're like, nah, like that can't be it. And so why wouldn't they be like 100%, this is who we are, and we're here and we're using it, and And because it's so stranger than what you would think, you're not even gonna believe it. You know, you're just gonna like you wouldn't
Well,
actually do that. Like just this right here, man.
yeah, the other poster on, where they're actually just basically just putting in your face of building a are we creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world? I mean, right there's your big conspiracy. They're putting, like you said, they're putting it in your face.
Yeah.
They're not hiding it. So it's like,
Right.
like Area 51. Let's take Area 51 for example. How
Yeah.
many years have we gone through and everyone says there's a base in the desert? And the military has said, nope, there's nothing out there, nothing out there. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, people go up and they used to be able to camp on the summit and be able to see it from 2 miles apart, two
Yeah.
miles out. Well, then they moved the border back, so now you're 6 miles out where you can actually see the base. And now they've got a camera and a tower and monitoring up on that peak. And now they're like, oh yeah, we've got a military base out there. We've been doing all kinds of secret planes and yeah, but there's nothing to see there. There's nothing. So when we talked about Area 51, one of our big things was, what if they just moved all the skunk works, the UFOs, and everything else to a whole nother base, but they keep this one open simply as one of these, like the Denver sign. Are we preparing for the end of the world? Look over here, not over here.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they're using it as a place of storing, I mean, there's been so much talk about, end of the world stuff, the apocalypse style stuff, and regardless of what people believe or where kind of the origins are of those stories, we're in some really interesting times right now, and there's just more and more happening every single day that kind of feeds into that concept. And if they're looking at a way to store resources, to be able to transport mass amounts of resources, yeah, what an excellent kind of central location. Colorado's pretty central in the U.S., easy access to really anywhere they want to go, especially when you think of some of those the locations where people do claim that the elite have their huge bunkers and whatnot, right? Like Denver would be the perfect location for a central store.
Yeah, and you've already got an airport right there, right on top of you. So anybody can fly their personal planes in. You're ready to go at a moment's notice. The big earthquake's coming. Hey, everybody, all the powerful elite, let's go. Going to Denver.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And and if this is supposed to be teepees too, okay, here's where I'm kind of questioning. Again, we're gonna compare Portland Airport to Denver Airport, only because Portland's my home airport. It's the one I fly in and out of the most. So if Portland is going to have everything that's kind of representative of that Portland area, the trees, the native peoples, the rivers, the fish, all this stuff is related to the area. Or even Bozeman. I flew into Bozeman airport recently, in and out of there, which was very Montana. You fly in, it's stone, it's wood. Side comment, you're in a Montana airport when they have bear spray drop-offs. Like you go to load before TSA, you have to drop off your bottles of water and your trash and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they also have a bin just for bear sprays. You're in Montana. But again, everything there is grizzly. It's Montana. It's the vibe of the area. Well, okay, Denver from the outside, sure, it has, if these are representing teepees, which I get it, from this point of view, sure, it looks like a nice, beautiful teepee village. So why isn't that the focus then on the inside, right? If the focus is, okay, here we're honoring, the native peoples of the area by representing what their homes might look like, why do we just go straight into some weird ass, Masonic gargoyle? I'm sorry, but like natives and gargoyles, I don't normally think of the two of them in the same place, you know. Demonic horses, I don't know. And I got to go and look up what some of their beliefs are in that particular region and see if that correlates, because for me, man, I don't see those things going together. I definitely don't see murals of a bunch of dead kids being the vibe. Man, I have nightmares over that one.
Well, the last 10 minutes we've decided we're going to start doing what we like to call the Skeptic's Corner.
Perfect.
So once upon a time, we had a guy who did our podcast with us. He was our skeptic. He was the non-conspiracy, the non-aluminum foil hat connoisseur. So we decided we're going to spend the last 10 minutes and we're going to try to put on our skeptic hats.
Perfect.
And tear down the conspiracy in a logical manner.
Well, I think the horse alone, okay, it's a neat interpretation. It's blue. It's a big raging horse. The first thing I thought of before I got a real up close look at it is Denver Broncos. All right,
their colors are blue and orange.
Yeah,
okay.
Just maybe he got a little carried away, and the what is his name again? Blucifers. Maybe
Lucifer.
the Lucifer's ball sack just became so like such a big part of this guy's life. Maybe he just went a little overpowered with the veins and bulgingness.
He did own a stallion.
See?
So maybe he used the stallion as his model.
Cool, right?
And he was just very detailed and ADHD about his work. So
hey,
maybe
one
happened.
Artist to another, I get it. I'm not going to judge his artistic interpretation. I can see that. That makes sense to me. The gargoyles talking to you. I mean, if they just want to be like funny and feed off of other people's wild imaginations, I mean, that's a great way to feed into people's humor. That would be funny. It'd be great. I would definitely get a chuckle out of that. And the Masons have been involved in a lot of great building of things, and we know that there's a lot of Masonic imagery all throughout anything that's done with our government. And I'm not here to claim any understanding of how they're related, because I don't know. But, we know, I was reading up some statistics, and the government paid so much money to build this airport. So how that's all connected, all right, maybe they're just there to help fund it and do good stuff. I don't know their motivations because I'm not part of it, right? Thinking on the murals, I was again looking at some of the details of the one where it's all of the kiddos, the flags. Yeah, this one right here. And in this one, when you look really up close, everybody's smiling compared to the other images. All these kiddos are happy. Everybody in this image is happy. They're playing musical instruments. They're looking at each other and smiling. They're representing all the different cultures as that they could from around the world. People with kind of stereotypical garb from different regions around the world, and everyone's really, really happy. And they're happy because they're destroying what feels like a very oppressive thing, right? And wrapped in this rainbow, which could be love, representative of God, or inclusivity, of all those things, depending on which place you stand from. It's all good stuff. And the concept being peace and everyone coming together to triumph over oppression, right? Triumph over war. I get it. It's a great concept. Again, artistic interpretation. If I'm going to be an artist looking at this, I can get those feelings. That kind of stuff makes sense. Putting it in an airport, I still question like who signed off on that choice, and kind of what their intentions were. Um, but this particular image doesn't seem too nefarious to me. It doesn't kick off too many things, but um, this
This
one right
one.
here, man, I just don't know what to think. It's a very bold statement about where we're at as a world. Truly, the climate change, devastation with the loss, going extinct with all these animals, these creatures. They have the buffalo head right there. It's not a buffalo. It's a buffalo's head mounted, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is very expressive of that whole killing for trophiness, destroying an entire species for the sake of fun. So it's a very pointed statement piece, an artistic representation of a lot of people's perspective of where we're at here right now. That I can understand. Placing it in an airport is the part where I don't quite get it.
Well, I mean, to think like a skeptic, maybe what this is you've got the gargoyle. He's there for humor. You've been on a long flight. So you got a gargoyle that's going to give you banter back and forth, to kind of rib on you a bit. Okay, like you said before, it's going to be funny. It's going to kind of raise up your spirits a little bit.
Yeah.
The painting, maybe what the artist is trying to say, because I mean, we do kind of go through war, we go through destruction, then we go into the final one on that top part of the mural where peace is reigning. Maybe this guy, what he's trying to say is, as an artist, he's basically trying to say, listen, we need to pull together, we need to not be fighting each other. This is where we need to be in the end. Maybe it's not so much a end of the world philosophy, but his own personal, how can I convey an overall image and a thought in a mural?
Sure. Well, and reaching to a large population of people. Again, this is a huge international airport, so you're having people from all over the world flying through into this airport. So it really is an excellent location to have a great reach, and ultimately, if we're looking at it of the message of everyone coming together to create peace, banding together as a world to be better. I mean, what a great way to reach a grand audience, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Even though that some of the imagery is a little bit shocking, but maybe that's what you needed once upon a time to shock your audience a little bit. Art
Absolutely.
is subjective.
Yep.
Art is subjective.
Yep.
And, I mean, we got to look at the Van Goghs. We got to look at, Edward Munch's The Scream. The Scream is a horrifying image if you're not really looking at it. If you see it the first time, it's just it's a horrifying image. But once you get to the deeper levels, it was a statement piece. Yeah. Exactly. So, is the Denver airport a home of the Illuminati? Is it the future home of the Illuminati? Or is it just an airport that likes to be a little bit hippy-dippy with its artwork? Those are questions that we don't know. We can't exactly answer right at the moment. If anybody's got any questions from the audience, we've got 2 people watching. If you want to squeeze those in real quick. I've got nothing. Well, everybody, it is 9 o'clock. You know what time it is. We are going to get out of here. I would like to thank Star for joining us tonight. It's always been a pleasure.
Oh, I love it.
And
Thank
when
you.
we get to do Montana, we'll have to have you on for Montana.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of great places. The Montana State Prison, I've been there lots of times.
Yeah, Montana's going to be that might be a 2-month, because I know where I used to live and work is going to be one of those spots. So,
Love it.
but thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on board. Everybody else, we will see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to hug your cryptid tonight. Later, everybody.